Here's a strange question. What if the most important character in The Boys was never actually Homelander? Season 5 just ended. Butcher beat a depoured Homelander to death. The franchise's biggest villain went out on his knees, and by every normal rule of storytelling, that should be the end of his story. But somewhere in that same final season, a huge chunk of screen time didn't go to Homelander's downfall. It went to a different character entirely, one who wasn't even supposed to be the lead. So why did a supporting character absorb so much of the show's final hours? And why is Amazon building an entire new series around him, set decades before Homelander even existed? Something shifted here, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Welcome back to Movizo. Today we're digging into a claim that's been circulating since The Boys wrapped its 5-season run. That Soldier Boy, not Homelander, is quietly becoming the true center of this franchise. We're going to trace exactly where that argument comes from, what evidence actually backs it up, and where it's still just interpretation. Let's separate what we know from what's being argued. Confirmed. Amazon is producing Vought Rising, a 1950s set prequel premiering in 2027, with Jensen, Ackles, and Ackles returning as Soldier Boy and Stormfront. That's a fact, it's happening. The interpretation is bigger than that, though. The article argues that this isn't just a new spin-off, it's a passing of the torch. That Soldier Boy is set to replace Homelander as the actual main character of the franchise going forward. That's not a press release. That's a reading of the pattern. And the article goes even further, suggesting the shift already happened inside Season 5 itself. Start with the setup. Vought Rising isn't a random spin-off idea, it's traced back to something specific in Season 5. The recurring dialogue about what Clara would have wanted. According to the article, that phrase wasn't filler. It was connective tissue, planting the emotional groundwork for a murder mystery prequel about Vought's origins and the Soldier Boy, Stormfront relationship. That's layer 1. The franchise was already building his next chapter while the current one was still airing. Layer 2 is where it gets more pointed. One of the most common criticisms of Season 5 was how much time went to Soldier Boy, specifically his father-son dynamic with Homelander, while other threads got squeezed. The article lists the cost directly. Frenchie's death arriving rushed, pushed into the background, Kimiko reduced to one-liners, Annie given minimal development. Meanwhile, Soldier Boy got space to bond with his son, reconnect with old allies, and revisit his past. That contrast is the article's real piece of evidence. It's not just that Soldier Boy has a spin-off coming. It's that he was already taking up the narrative oxygen that used to belong to Homelander, and the core team in the very season meant to close their stories out. If this reading holds, the implications reach past one character. For the franchise, it means the center of gravity is physically moving backward in time, away from the modern Boys cast and toward Vought's founding era. For Homelander, it means his death may end his arc without ending his shadow. The show seems more interested in where his kind of power came from than in mourning him. And for future stories, it raises a real structural question. If the flagship show is done, does Vought Rising inherit the franchise's spotlight, or does it become just another good but secondary entry, like Gen V was? Here's what makes the argument convincing. The screen time imbalance in Season 5 isn't disputed. The article's list of shortchanged characters lines up with the finale's own packing problems. That's a real pattern, not a stretch. What's less certain is the leap from "he got a lot of focus" to "he's officially the new lead of the franchise." A prequel with the same actor doesn't automatically make that actor the face of everything going forward. It could just mean Vought's history was good origin story material. The article's case is strongest when it's describing what happened. It's more speculative when it's describing what that means long-term. So the evidence supports a real shift in focus. Whether that shift amounts to a full changing of the guard is still an open question. So what do you think? Is Soldier Boy genuinely becoming the new face of the Boys franchise? Or is this article reading more into a prequel deal than is actually there? Thanks for watching. If this kind of deep dive breakdown is your thing, hit like, subscribe, and drop your take in the comments. We read every one.